Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Fan Behavior and F1 podcast. I am Zoe, and as always, I am here with Hannah.
Hello.
Happy second to last race week.
Crazy.
The penultimate or penultimate?
I think it's penultimate.
Penultimate.
But I can't be for sure.
I think you're right. Penultimate race week of the 2023 season.
Crazy.
On one hand, it feels like a very long season because it's like I can't even remember Bahrain.
No.
But then on the other hand, it feels like it's gone by so fast.
It really has. Like I can't, well, and just like life in general, like the fact that it's the middle of November is
crazy.
Yeah, very crazy.
Because it doesn't feel like it's the month of November even outside.
No.
Yeah, Las Vegas race week. And we'll get into all of the craziness going on with Las Vegas, but I don't even know what to expect.
I have absolutely no idea what's going to happen. Just from like I'm so curious to hear about the fan experience. I'm so curious to see the actual race and like, just all of the things. And then just for everyone who's going to report back, like there's just going to be so much data that comes
100%.
out afterwards that I'm really curious about.
100%. This is the first time in a long time that we're having a normal podcast.
Yes, I also don't remember.
It's not even the right word because
a non-race recap.
Yeah, exactly. Because we haven't done these in a long time. I can't think of the last time we've even done one of these. So should we just jump right into it?
Please.
Anything else to share from the week at hand?
I don't think so.
Random. Yeah.
There's probably random thoughts that will come up at some point, but none that I can think of.
And we should just say too here, that Hannah and I, by the time this comes out, we will have put out another Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce
breaking news
update because I guess that's who we are now. We are F1 podcasters and then Taylor Swift
with
Travis
side
Kelce.
hustles.
And
side
that's
interest.
just going to be on YouTube. So if you are interested in our thoughts on everything that's transpired over the last few weeks with them, particularly what's happened over the last weekend, go check that out because so much to talk about.
Truly.
But obviously this is an F1 podcast. We want to
respect the space. And we know there's plenty of you who appreciate the crossover, but again,
exactly,
just trying to respect the space.
Exactly. All right, fan and foe of the week. Would you like to share your fan, Hannah?
Sure. Sorry, there was a hair on my microphone. So I was on the phone with my grandma earlier in the week. Love her. We were talking for like an hour, but she was so cute because she doesn't know anything about Formula One. Yeah. She's very excited that we're doing this. But she doesn't really like know what's going on. But she was telling me, I guess she got a new laptop, which she's excited about. And she's pretty like tech savvy, but she was telling me that my grandpa, he travels a couple days a week to work, and so he took her laptop with him so that he could learn how to get to our podcast on YouTube.
Oh, cute!
And then teach her so that she can watch it on YouTube. And I was like, well, that's really, really nice. And you're not gonna know what's going on. But she did point out specifically that she was listening to the episode that you did with Track Talk.
Yeah. And that's nice of her to even listen to one that you're not even on.
I know. I'm sure it was an accident, but it was still very nice. But she was like, the way Zoe said, my Hannah was just so nice. And I was like, that's really sweet. And I know what she meant but also there's a joke between our podcast and Track Talk that like Emma has a Hannah, Zoe has a Hannah. So in that particular scenario and conversation, she really had to say like my Hannah. But my grandma just thought it was so sweet. She's like, that's a real, I know.
You are my Hannah.
I know. But she was like, that's just such a true friend. And like, you've got to hold those people close. And I was like, you're not wrong. And it was really nice.
That's sweet. On the same note, just to, give you some love. My dad, I saw my dad this weekend and he said that he really liked your episode with Van Amp.
Oh,
yeah. I thought you did a very good job. So yeah,
cool.
It's always nice when, like, because I feel like our families, they have
bias.
They have bias.
Yeah, right.
And not that they don't, obviously, but it's like, you're less inclined.
Yeah.
But it's nice when we're all treated equally.
Amen.
My fan isn't quite so heartwarming, but it was funny as hell. So F1 put out a new Las Vegas Who's Most Likely To video, which is they're always great. But I want to particularly shout out Daniel throwing Charles Leclerc under the bus.
It was so good.
So for those who haven't seen it, there was a question of who's most likely to get married in Las Vegas. And Daniel said Charles, because he loves relationships. And it was just like, it's true.
Yeah.
But also for him to like say it out loud.
Well, and the timing of it is so funny because he obviously filmed that so much more recently.
Yeah.
After Charles' relationship switch.
Yes.
So it just really adds.
Yes. And then at the end of it, he's like, was that bad? Like, I don't know if you saw the end.
Oh, yeah.
Was that bad? The thing about Charles.
I mean, if Charles doesn't know that he likes being in relationships
and like literally literally skips from one to the next.
Yeah.
Like there's
That's
zero.
what we call a serial monogamous.
Yeah.
And whatever.
Yeah. But I appreciated it. And then he also called out George. Well, not called out, but he sort of was joking that like George is going to propose to Carmen and they're going to get married and everything.
First of all, George would never and Carmen would never.
No, they wouldn't. I think the couple that would, because they're like cool enough to do it, would be Lily and Alex.
Yeah.
You know, like in the way that, not that, I mean, they're not together anymore, but the way that Sophie Turner and Joe Jonas got married in Vegas, you know, like they're cool enough that it's like, fun. Anyway, I love those videos. They always make me laugh.
Yeah, they're always so funny. And like just they forget about who's on the grid with them, like we do. You know, sometimes they're just like trying to think about everything, and it's funny.
Max also said he thought Yuki would be the one.
Yeah.
And
Pierre said he thought he would be the one. So maybe Yuki and Pierre
could get married.
That'd be fun.
So funny. That
would be really funny.
I know. I'm very curious to see like what like all the sort of kitschy like pop culture things that teams are going to try to like reference in their content. Like I'm sure we're going to get a bunch of like hangover recreations and just other things that happen within the Vegas world. I just think it's going to be a lot of like leaning into the bits
for sure,
which will be funny
or horrible or both.
They'll be funny right now. Like for the first year, they will not be funny moving forward.
That's so true.
We'll be like, we're done, you know, but maybe it'll be like Austin where it's just like cowboy theme every single year.
But you can just like continue to do different content while dressed as a cowboy.
Sure.
But you know, there's only so many like times we can hear you impersonate Elvis or, you know, play roulette or whatever is going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Faux.
Oh, okay. So this is not something that's like, okay. When I was in Vegas in college, it's a bit of a long story, but we'll get back to Formula One here in a second. So I went to actually with a mutual friend of Zoe and I, we went to see the One Direction concert movie because it had just come out and all of our friends were at a day club and that just wasn't something that we were prepared to participate in. So we went to the movie theater and then we saw that on our way to the movie theater, we were passing the Las Vegas sign.
I do think we should just set the scene a bit because so it's like a senior trip.
Oh, sure.
It's a senior trip. And Hannah and I
fall break of senior year.
Hannah and I are in different grades in school. Hannah's a year older than me in school. So I was not along for the journey.
Correct.
So it's all these seniors go for like 3 days and it's basically just like party, day club, nightclub, it's Gaga bus club, another club.
And I don't have the capacity to do a day club and a nightclub, and I would much prefer go to a nightclub if I have to pick because I get sunburn and like being in a communal pool with a bunch of it just couldn't sound worse to me.
I can barely do either, like, you know.
Yeah, sure.
It's like
it's a real commitment
and it's so overstimulation to the absolute max.
Yeah. And the whole trip just like wasn't for me. Like we've talked about that. We've been back to Vegas, just the two of us for iHeartRadio Fest. And we really figured out how we want to do Vegas. And it doesn't involve clubs in any capacity, night or day.
No.
So anyway, I saw that we had driven by the Las Vegas sign and I hadn't actually like seen it yet. And you know, it's iconic, whatever. When you see it in person, it's much smaller than you think it would be. And it's just a sign, but it's iconic. And so Shelly and I decided that we were going to walk back, like, because it wasn't that far from the movie theater. So we were going to walk to the sign, then we were going to get an Uber from the sign because we thought it'd be kind of weird to just like get dropped off at the sign. I guess people do it all the time. But anyway, So we're going to take pictures. I have never mastered the like taking a solo photo ever. I am not good at it. I don't know what to do with my hands. I never know what to do. And so those of you who are watching on YouTube will be able to see, but I kind of thought I was doing a like arms wide open, like, oh my God, look at this sign. Shelly didn't tell me.
This is what Hannah was doing.
Okay. Shelly didn't tell me that my arms were completely straight and pointed and in the shape of a V. Now, I also just wanted to be very clear. And honestly, like, I'm still so embarrassed about this picture. Like, I don't think we can post it. Okay. No, I'm not sure. Just like, let me think about it. I have to look at it again. I mean, the outfit is terrible. Like, no one told me. I wasn't really like comfortable in my body at the time. So my clothes weren't great. And I was wearing these like pastel purple J. Crew shorts, which was like a buy one, get one with these shorts that I had to get for sorority recruitment.
Yeah, I know.
So I was like, ooh, purple's kind of fun. No, it wasn't. They were hideous with a black V-neck, which was also not cute. I should have never worn black with those pants. And then I think low top white Converse that weren't platform. And so that looked stupid. I looked so dumb.
Be nice to yourself.
Looked dumb, which is why this has become a photo that my friends and I still discuss.
It's funny.
So we just call it V for Vegas, and everyone knows that we're talking about the picture. So the reason that it's relevant for Formula One is in the same Grill the Grid video. I've come to learn that George Russell and I have a lot more in common than I would feel comfortable with. And I think it's a lot of really good qualities, but it's still really humbling when you see them in somebody else.
Yeah.
That sometimes makes you itchy.
George would definitely wear like Bermuda purple Cheeto shorts.
Yeah. I mean, at least at this stage in life, he could style them correctly. That was what I missed. And a lot of times it's what I'm missing is like, I don't always style clothes well.
Sure.
That's fine.
Okay.
Thanks for not correcting me.
No, I'm just saying back in the day. Now you do.
Okay. I know. So anywho, who's the most likely to go take a picture with the Las Vegas sign? Now, of course, they've edited this video, so I don't know, but it appeared that with no hesitation, nearly everyone said George Russell. And then I, of course, pictured George Russell doing the V for Vegas pose because he does the T pose. He's very into letter poses.
Yes.
And I just kind of got bummed out by that because, yeah. I'm George Russell.
Yeah. Well, and I texted you and I said they should have asked who's most likely to do V for Vegas.
Yeah, and it was a little triggering, but
we all had those moments where you're just like, what was going through my head? What was I thinking? You know, we all can reflect on things of the past.
Yeah.
And the reality is you've grown from that situation.
Yeah.
You've changed.
I still can't take a picture by myself.
But
really.
that's okay. Who needs, why do you need to? If you don't feel comfortable.
Well, I don't know. It is weird though, because I realize like I don't have a single picture just like, well, that's not true. I have some, but like all the pictures where I'm alone, I look dumb. Not dumb. I just look uncomfortable.
You look uncomfortable. Right.
And I don't like outside of taking selfies, like I have no photos by myself. And it's just interesting.
Okay. Well, maybe that's something that we can work on like at our next trip or something.
Yeah.
We can try to like
maybe before so that I like feel comfortable when it's happening.
We can get you into a place where you feel comfortable.
Okay. If anyone has suggestions of like, what do I do with my hands? Don't lift my arms. You know, those sorts of things. Can't have another V for Vegas.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyway, it's not like the worst thing to ever happen, but it was pretty humble. Again, I'm just reminded at the similarities between George Russell and myself.
I think it's great.
It is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, we've said that, and I think George has so many wonderful qualities.
Yeah. I mean, the qualities that make us us, but like this, I would absolutely be the president of the drivers.
Yeah.
What it's called?
Association.
I almost said coalition, which is
this is a bit of a side note, but we got a message, I think it was last week, from somebody who said they were like, you and Hannah are like Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. They're like, because, and she clarified that I'm Patrick Mahomes and you were Travis Kelce. And she's like, because, Patrick, he like is in charge. He like organizes the thing. He's like getting it all together. He's a little bit more quiet. He's a little bit more whatever. But like his connection with Travis is just like always there. Like they're always on the same page. You know where each other are going to be. And like Travis makes the like show-stopping play. Like he gets the touchdown. He makes the big catch. Like he has the boisterous personality.
Sure.
And they were like, you guys, I wish I could remember who sent it, but they were like, you guys have that dynamic on the podcast.
That's very kind.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Thanks,
Very nice.
whoever sent that.
Yeah, thank you.
We will be your Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. And I've actually, like, Kelly and I often say that we're Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah. So I guess I'm everyone's Patrick Mahomes.
Thank God.
Yeah.
We need you.
I don't have the Kermit voice, but and I don't have the money either.
Yet.
Yeah. Someday I'll be worth $500 million.
Ditto.
My foe is very short, but it's essentially, I'm just dreading the timing of the Las Vegas weekend because the race is at midnight. That's not great.
No.
Just given the fact that, like, it's not going to be over till probably 2-ish, depending on whatever. So then you're not falling asleep till after,
Yeah.
It's crazy because it's in our country, but it's like we're in Australia or Suzuka or something. That's the timing of it. Qualifying is at 2 a.m. 2 a.m. Yeah, our widget's wrong, by the way. But
I hate this widget.
It's at 2 a.m. So I'm not staying up to watch qualifying because I'm pretty certain there will be some sort of red flag delay that's going to push it back. It won't be over to like 3:30, closer to 4 a.m. So I'm just going to wake up in the morning and watch it.
Yeah.
But, like, I understand why it's late because they want the night race thing and they also want it to be, like, early or I guess late enough in the morning so Europe can watch it at a reasonable time. But it's, like, inconvenient for us actually here in the States.
Yeah, it's wild.
Which is crazy.
And so it's 2 a.m. Central Time.
Yes.
Which means it's midnight in Vegas. Yeah. That's really late.
I know.
That's so dumb.
I know.
Like, why wouldn't they just keep it at the same time as what the race is going to be?
I don't know.
There's so much to get into about this race.
I know. It's crazy. So anyway, that's my big gripe is that I'm already frustrated with the timing of it, but alas,
we'll get through it together.
All right, moving on. That was quite a long fan info segment, but that's what we do here.
Context.
Let's go to pop culture moment because there were a couple.
Yeah.
We'll end with the big one, but the first one that I want to just talk about is like Charles Leclerc is being paparazzi'd in Los Angeles.
Yeah,
and like I love that for him.
Yeah, it's great. I love that for us.
Yeah,
because we helped, and I don't know if he likes being paparazzi'd, but it is really interesting.
I think
he's on Just Jared now. They all are. It's weird.
And I do think someone was saying like Charlotte recently signed with, was it WME?
Yeah.
Or something like
he's acting.
If
was it the Shell commercial that he submitted?
Yeah. What did he say in that? Power, performance, and efficiency. That's what Shell something.
Yeah.
You were Charles.
Yeah. But
don't remember.
Yeah.
But anyway, acting needs work. But yeah, he's definitely trying to like grow his profile in the States.
Creative.
And I'm curious to see how that ends up working out for him.
I mean, he's got the face.
He's got the face.
And the personality.
He does and he doesn't.
Yeah.
Like he does, but he's competing. We'll get there, but he's competing in quotes with another driver that already has all that covered.
For sure.
That I wonder, it's like, is there room for multiple in this space
at
this current time?
Yeah, at this juncture. I think that they probably want to do different things, though.
You think?
Kind of. Like, we're talking about Daniel?
Yeah.
Okay. I just don't see them doing similar work in the entertainment industry.
Okay.
Like, to me, Daniel seems more like hosting gig, SNL type stuff. Like if he's doing acting, it's like bit stuff in like some sort of show like that. It's not like a, guest appearance on a TV show. Whereas like Charles is a, sick boy number 2 in Grey's Anatomy or something. Not really, but
right.
That
but
kind
the
of
funny thing is that like what we've seen of Daniel acting, he is so much better than Charles.
I know.
Like Daniel could be an actor.
Yeah, he could be an actor, but I don't know if he wants to.
I don't know if he wants to be. Right. Anyway,
it's also interesting.
I just love seeing F1 drivers like in the sort of Hollywood celebrity sphere. It's just fun. Obviously they're super famous. Like this is what's crazy. Like Travis Kelce has like 4-something million followers on Instagram, and like he's huge. Like now he's like very, very famous, obviously. But like Charles Leclerc has 12 million followers.
Yeah, right.
Now, obviously it's because he's so much more famous internationally, but it's like it's crazy that someone at Travis Kelce's fame, what seems to be his fame level, has so many fewer followers than someone like Charles Leclerc, who's still sort of unknown in the States.
Yeah, but I think that's also like what was when people were like, like our international friends who are like, who's Travis Kelce? I don't
Right.
understand the significance.
Right.
Like that is the Formula One
Sure.
drivers
Sure,
to
sure,
people
sure.
who don't know who
Yep.
they are. Like
Yep.
it's sort of
Yep,
the
the
same. And
crossover.
like, yeah, it's
Yeah.
really interesting.
Yeah.
Like, you know, now everyone knows,
They
and
need to-
anyone who now knows who Taylor Swift is also knows who Travis Kelce is.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. So now really what we're saying is one of the Formula One drivers needs to date like some famous American
Yeah,
to like bring it over
for
the
sure.
crossover. I'm not sure who that would be, but like who is I mean, no one's at Taylor Swift's level, but like who is similar to Taylor Swift?
I feel like we have talked about this before, and obviously I think she's in a relationship now, but like I could see like Kendall Jenner dating one of these humans, or at least, you know, hanging with.
That's a.
But I was trying to think of who else like on that level.
Like, it's even more like A-list. Like I mean, I guess
Selena.
Yeah, Selena. Yeah, that's a good one. I don't know. Anyway, not that any of them are like even available, but Lando.
Well, Lando and Selena would never work.
No, but he could date somebody else.
Yeah, but who? Let's think. Emma Chamberlain.
I mean,
I don't know if they would work. I'm just
I think
thinking
she's
about
also in a relationship,
okay,
but
so
Olivia Rodrigo.
I don't know. I don't see that.
You don't see that, okay?
No, and it's a personality thing.
Okay.
Like I think they'd look cute together, but I just don't know if they're gonna.
Yeah, she's like a little more edgy.
He needs like a.
Okay, what about like? Oh my god, what about like Sabrina Carpenter?
I could see that.
That'd be cute.
Oh my god, and then Travis and Lando are just hanging.
Yeah, that'd be cute.
I don't even know if I'm able to comprehend what that would be like.
I'd love
that showed up on my FYP.
He looks so small.
So small.
Anyway, continuing with the pop culture moment. Max is on the cover of Time magazine.
Yeah, he was.
Congratulations to Max.
Awesome.
Also shout out to the Red Flags. You see that they got
and
it was one guy.
Yeah, there's two of them.
And that was so funny. And I just want to know what guy we're talking about.
Yeah.
Because that's pretty hilarious.
And just so iconic.
Yeah.
Like who knew that they were going to make it into Time magazine?
Exactly. And then finally, the big one of the week, Daniel Ricciardo on Jimmy Kimmel.
Classic. Beautiful. No notes.
No notes. Is it weird that it made me like slightly emo? I was like, I was just like so like happy. I was like overwhelmed
that's not
with
weird.
happiness.
I mean, I was smiling. It's so nice to just see his permanent smile.
Yeah, like he was, and I get why they sort of ask always the same questions because it's like you're talking to people who maybe don't know about Formula One. But I would like to put it out there that in the future, if these people go on talk shows, like let's expand the questions a little bit to not always like there's 20 of you. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Your neck muscles.
Well, and that's the thing that I think is so hard about talk shows and why I love like Chicken Shop Date or Hot Ones. I mean, can you imagine?
Can you imagine?
So good.
That
Daniel would not be able to handle Amelia at all. Like he would not be able to keep a straight face.
He would not be able to play with her.
Yeah, I mean, they would do really well but I just don't think like where some people like really match her banter, I'm not sure he would be able to not laugh. Because I'm thinking, who is the guy on Barstool? Is it Barstool Sports? Yeah, that guy. Like that's how he would be, just kind of like laughing at everything.
And awkward.
Yeah. Lando would be good. Max wouldn't get it, I don't think.
There's quite a few who wouldn't get it, who wouldn't like, be able to like understand. Carlos could do it.
I was gonna say, excuse me, I think Carlos would be funny. And I don't know that Lewis would be playful enough. Who?
Oscar.
Yeah.
Oscar would be really good.
Yeah, he would be good.
Because he could match
Sneaky
the
cross.
Sneaky cross.
Yeah, sneaky
he
cross.
could match. And also in a way, Pierre.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. If he again, like they would have to really understand what the show is and like be able to like.
And like Oscar doesn't really need he would understand it inherently.
Yes.
That would be fun. But yeah, I mean, I think just a show where like you have the time allotted to like get deeper into the questions.
Yep.
And then you just also have like Sean Evans is always just so well prepared. So you're going to get like random nuggets that maybe we even as fans wouldn't know about. I just think those interviews are fun. Like the talk shows are great and they're fun and they're good for clips and it's fun to like see, you know, a vase full of tennis balls. Like why? I never talk shows are always like that. It's like we need a prop. Okay, here's a vat of it. You know, it's like they need like even a can of tennis balls would have sufficed.
I know.
Anyway.
And that also like isn't Daniel's thing.
Yeah.
The react. I mean, maybe I never see him do those reaction videos.
It's just like, do. I mean, the other thing they could have done is like roll in the red wall with the whack-a-mole.
Yeah. But yeah. Loved it. It was great.
Yeah.
You know, he's always great on that stuff.
And I also wondered, like, has he been on Kimmel before?
No.
But I didn't know if they like have
He's
met because
only
of
done
Dax.
he did obviously he did Ellen, and then he did Stephen Colbert.
Okay, that's right. I remember that.
And then so he's making the rounds.
Also, really random tangent and has nothing to do with Formula One. But you said Ellen, and I had a flashback to the photo of Bradley Cooper wearing his Ellen undies with Gigi Hadid, and I just like. I kind of always thought that people were joking when they were going on a show and get the underwear and be like, these are the best underwear I've ever worn. Like, I just thought it was a bit.
Yeah.
But if he's still wearing them.
Yeah, not a bit.
Wish I would have bought some.
Totally. So anyway, Daniel's the American ambassador of Formula One. Yeah. He does what he needs to do, and he's going to keep. And you know what I was thinking about too? And I was thinking about it in the context of something different, which we don't have to get into here. But it's interesting to me that like when he became famous, or like when his fame started to grow in America, which is obviously after Drive to Survive, like his career started to go down. Like his best moments were all pre Drive to Survive, because like when the show came out in 2019, like he was at Renault, that was his first year, like everything was sort of behind him. He's only won one time since Drive to Survive has like I mean, I know they showed him, he obviously won the first season of Drive to Survive, but like once the show actually came out and like people became fans of the sport, American fans, and I'm very curious, and like, but like he's still, even despite not having like much success on the track, he's still like so extremely popular.
Yeah, like his fan and like outside of racing career trajectory has like been on a steady incline.
Yeah, but his off track or on track stuff has not. Yeah. But now it's like, can you imagine? I'm just so curious what would happen if he actually started to like win races again, like how much more famous he could become, and like
crazy.
Getting entrenched in like the Hollywood world even more. Because if he's already there just with like being average, what would happen if he was actually like really competitive?
Good stuff.
It'd be crazy.
Very.
Okay. Learning moment of the week. So I just wanted to, this is very brief, but this is not the first time that F1 is raced in Las Vegas.
It's not?
It is not. So
I kind of didn't think so, but then I was gaslit by everybody.
Oh, who?
Well, just everyone's not like anyone was trying to correct me. Everyone was just been like, yeah, this is the first time. I'm like, what?
Okay. So they have raced 2 times previously. In 1981, 1982. It was called the Caesar's Palace GP.
Okay.
They raced essentially in the parking lot of Caesar's Palace. And it was a complete dud. Like it just did not work. And I am wondering if
it's
this
also
is going to be
F1 in the 80s is a lot different than
totally.
F1 now.
Totally.
So from like I can see it wouldn't have been a big moneymaker if there wasn't a big audience in the States.
Right. And I think like the racing itself is just like not that great. So I'm curious to see if Vegas can redeem itself this time around. Still to be determined at this point in time, but
at least from a layout perspective, they've fixed, the parking lot problem.
Right, now they're racing on the strip, whatever. But
how curious.
Anyway, so we shall see if Vegas can make it past 2 years. They can get past doing it 2 years if they can actually, because they signed a 10-year contract. So
yeah, are we gonna later or now talk about Formula One's decision making skills?
Later. Yeah.
Understood.
Yeah. So okay. Into some news items. So did you see that Haas did this whole like review, like filed like a right to review about the Austin race?
No.
So there's a whole thing that you can do if you feel like something was wrong, incorrect, like a judgment call was wrong, something was missed, whatever. There's a certain number of days that you can file like a right to review to the FIA to basically like look at this thing again. Carlos did it do you remember during Australia when he got that penalty?
Yes.
In the red flag, and then he got pushed back, and then he got out the points.
Yeah,
they did
awful.
The same thing for him.
Yeah, okay. I remember that.
The reason for it was because there was apparently, I think it was turn 6. I could be wrong about the specific turn, where I guess like the CCTV camera, like the camera that was looking at the track limits, either wasn't working or something was off, and they felt like there was a number of drivers who were repeatedly exceeding track limits that it wasn't being enforced. And so anyway,
during the race or quality?
During the race.
Okay.
And so like a number of drivers would have had, if according to Haas, and what they felt was missed was that there was a couple of drivers that were exceeding track. Like I think Checo was one of them, which isn't a surprise. Some other drivers I can't remember, and that that the stewards should have given them penalties, which would have then brought them back down in the standings. And I guess probably because Haas is doing this, would have promoted Haas drivers into points
significantly enough too.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so it failed. Their right to review. So it says here, Austin stewards ruled after video hearing that the evidence Haas presented to them over alleged track limits did not constitute a quote significant and relevant new element. So it was denied. However, the stewards did say that they needed improved methods for enforcing track limit rules going forward. And it's like, anyway, so sad for Haas. They're struggling big time.
Yeah.
They're falling. I think they're last in the constructors at the current juncture. Yeah. Tough go for them. All right. Las Vegas preview. A lot to go over. So yeah, as Hannah alluded to, it came out this week that Formula One did not even think to check what the temperature would be like in Las Vegas at the end of November,
because it's a cash grab.
Well, and if you don't know, it's going to be cold in Las Vegas, and it's all just craziness. And I think people were like, and it's true. Well, people assumed that F1 was like, well, it's really hot in Qatar, so it must be really hot in really hot in Vegas. But it's like Qatar is essentially like, if you look at the like geographic landscape, it's basically like an island. So it has very different weather patterns than Las Vegas. Because if you know things about the desert, like the desert gets obviously very hot in the day, but then it can get really cold at night. And that's how it is like in most deserts around the world. But F1 doesn't really race in many desert locations, again, aside from a place like Qatar. And so they just probably didn't even think to themselves.
That's absurd. That the thought, like, that they are putting a race in a new place, like, we raced here for 2 times in the 80s, to sign a 10-year deal to basically reconstruct the whole of one of the most known cities in the world for a race, and to not have a single person check the Farmer's Almanac to see what the weather's like at 9 p.m. in the in November.
Yeah.
Wild.
I know. It's pretty crazy. And yeah, as I've talked about, I think other people have mentioned, like, it's going to be around 40 degrees, I think, like track temperature about 40 degrees during the time of the race, and that's 40 degrees Fahrenheit. And it's, because people are like, well, that's not cold. It's like, yeah, it's not cold if you're like
for a stroll
going outside.
Not a land stroll, like a walk.
It's not cold for a stroll. They're tough.
Yeah, they're Canadian.
Yeah, exactly. But it's all about the tire temperatures, and like if the tires are going to be, and also people have mentioned this, and it's true, like the corners and turns are where the tires get pretty warm, and then the straight is where tires get cold again.
Yeah,
and
it's mostly straight.
It's mostly straight. So it's like, and if you don't have enough warmth in the tire, it's going to be like you're driving on ice. You're not going to have any grip. You're going to slide around.
And because they haven't gotten rid of tire blankets yet.
And because, exactly. And because it's a straight track for the most, there's no runoff space. If they're out, they're going to be into the wall, so
it's going to be a mess.
Qualifying, I think, could be a mess, because obviously, like, your whole, like, the goal is like you're trying to get your tires in a window to be able to do just like one very fast lap. And so I just think that's going to be like a whole thing, or they're not going to know, like, how many laps do I need to get tires up? Well, the whole time issue, I could see that being a cluster of just like,
they're practicing at night too, I assume, right?
Yeah. But it's just ridiculous. And it just seems like so much of what's happened so far with Vegas has just been like these afterthoughts. Like, all the workers, I shouldn't say all of them, but like so many workers have like threatened to strike, or like there's this whole issue with just like the treatment of the workers, and like hotels wanting to like board their windows because they don't want people to have a view of the track if they're not paying the amount for it. And they're like blocking out all the like walkways, you
Yeah.
know, with like stuff so you can't it's just I just think it's going to be an absolute mess.
Yeah, it's gonna be a
I
disaster.
really do. Like, I hope I'm wrong.
Same, because we know a lot of people going, and like
Yes.
for anyone that we don't know that's going, like I want them to have a good experience. Like I
Same.
want it to be really great, and it just feels like, I mean, just such a mess. Like honestly, it just and then now to hear too, like tickets
I
are
was gonna say,
declining like
the
crazy.
prices are
Hotel
dropping.
rooms
Yep.
are like being slashed in half, and it's like this idea of like, I understand, okay, like the Super Bowl, super expensive.
Yeah.
Prices are inflated, tickets are expensive, blah, 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 blah. I get it. I understand the supply and demand and, you know, why the tickets are expensive. But you made it seem like this is going to be this most luxury experience. All the stars of all time are going to be here. And now, because you were greedy,
yeah,
you haven't sold anything.
Right.
Which is, you know, working out nicely for some people. But then there's also people who maybe have spent, I don't know, a good chunk of their savings to go to this event when they didn't need to. And sometimes it just irritates me. Like it almost feels like they were being like the Ticketmaster scalpers, you know, with their own
agenda.
Well, and with their own services.
Yeah.
Like I understand when there's a big event in town, you have the right and opportunity to inflate your prices. But to just like put them out of a tax bracket for an entire population of people and then to screw yourself over is crazy.
Well, and it's also, we talked about this too, like now that there's 3 races in the States, the reality is like most Formula One fans, well, first of all, good luck trying to convince just like average, like even people who are like peripherally into Formula One, good luck trying to convince them to go to your race. Like it's just probably not going to happen.
Yeah, not unless they're loaded.
Yeah. Right, exactly. But even for like just like the average Formula One fan in America, the reality is they're probably going to go to 1 race a year.
Yeah.
And so they're having to now decide between Miami, Austin, and Vegas. And the reality is you have to make yourself, and I think this is why so many of these tracks are now trying to figure out ways to like get people to come, and because they're having to compete with, you know, all these other ones. And you need to make it seem like, why should people come and see your race? And why should people come? And if it's so much less expensive to go to Austin, Miami was even a lot cheaper this year. Like, yeah,
you've pretty much wrote the book on why someone shouldn't go to Vegas.
Right. And like, and we've maintained this too. Like, to me, if I was, again, an F1 fan going to 1 race, like I would 100% year after year only go to Austin.
Same.
Like, I mean, we haven't been to Miami. Obviously, we're not going to Vegas yet. So like, we can't speak on all of it. You know, we don't know what it's like at the other races. But like, to me, that's just like the tried and true race.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It's just, it's a little bit, I don't know what the word is, but you haven't even put on the race yet.
Right.
So you can't expect people to want to spend these crazy amounts. And I know people have.
Yeah, right. But they're treating it like it's Monaco.
Right.
And it's not. Like, we don't know. Exactly. It has the potential to be the worst race on the calendar.
Like Monaco, I mean, it is expensive, but like I went to qualifying for $200.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know, like a base value
in a
grandstand seat across from the pit lane.
Yeah.
Like super, you know, that's not cheap, but like it's not a bad price.
No, but
and
it's not $4,000.
Stayed in an Airbnb that was, you know, like 25 minutes away and paid, you know, I think in total, I mean, how many nights was it there? 4 nights. I think I paid around $300 something for the whole experience. And obviously, I, you know, shared it with other people, but like, it wasn't whatever it was like $1,000 every night, like craziness. So like, honestly, go to Monaco instead of going to Vegas. It would be cheaper.
Yeah.
And more probably enjoyable.
Yeah. The other thing that I haven't understood about the like boarding of the windows and stuff that could see. I mean, I guess I don't know the layouts of all these hotels, but to me, if you're already, a lot of the hotels were selling packages.
Yep.
So do not sell the rooms unless they're buying a package.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And then like, just like, why are we like, you are going to spend so much more money covering these windows than just leaving them empty.
Yeah.
I don't know. The whole thing's crazy.
I know. So I'm very curious to see how it goes. I'm hopeful. I want it to be a good race. I want it to do well. I want people to have fun and enjoy themselves. I'm just very skeptical of it. I hope that it's safe. I'm like slightly worried that it might be a little dangerous. I'm hoping that everything's going to be, fine. Yeah. So we'll see.
I know.
But I hope if you are going to Vegas, like I hope you have a great time. Would
Yeah.
love to know what your thoughts on the experience after the fact.
Yes.
Yeah. Highs and lows. Very curious.
And Vegas does big events really well.
Yeah.
So like I'm also really hopeful that all of the logistics and stuff have been thought through and are good. It's just, first of all, the track is taking over basically all of the places where you would normally walk around and like take Ubers through. So I feel like there's a lot of rerouting going on. But yeah, I just hope that the race itself is safe, like for the drivers, and that it is a fun and happy experience for all.
Yes.
And if it's not, well, please let us know.
Right. Exactly.
All the details.
Just some more quick little things. Ferrari unveiled their new livery for Vegas with the
I haven't seen the full livery
red
yet.
and white.
I only saw the rear wing.
Rear wing, yeah, and they have some white, and then their race suits are red and white. So
I love how shocked they were that Shell approved having a white logo.
I know,
because I feel like they maybe don't like the yellow one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, and someone said they're like they went from looking like McDonald's employees when they were wearing their red and yellow to looking like KFC with red and white.
That's a good point. Good point.
But anyway, good luck to Ferrari next week or this weekend. I hope that things look better for you.
Yeah, I did also hear that if Charles' car didn't shut off when it did, it could have exploded. So I know that we all had like a real an engine exploding and a car, like I don't know to what degree of explosion. I saw this on TikTok and didn't do any further research.
Mm-hmm.
But as disappointing as it was, I'm glad that the machinery did what it was supposed to keep him safe.
Yes, exactly. Last little piece of news, and it's good because when this episode comes out, it will be this evening, which is the Netflix Cup.
I'm so excited.
The F1/golf little tournament that's happening. They announced the driver pairing, so I can share that for people who know about Formula One and golf. So Lando Norris will be with Ricky Fowler.
Do you think Ricky Fowler kind of looks like Scotty Mack from IndyCar? Maybe it was just the one photo I saw of him, but he kind of reminded me.
Okay, I can't see it, but that's maybe. Carlos Sainz is with Justin Thomas. Pierre Gasly is with Colin Morikawa, and Alex Albon is with Max Homa. And I'm excited to watch it.
I'm so
honestly
excited.
I actually have more information about the format.
Who's your favorite pairing?
Well, I don't really know much about golfers, so I don't really know in terms of like what golfer I'm a fan of. But I would probably say Lando and Ricky.
Okay.
How about you?
I'm excited for Carlos and JT. I like JT a lot when I was watching. I mean, I like Ricky too, but when I watched Full Swing, I remember really liking JT.
Yeah. So the format, so each of the 4 teams will play 8 holes of match play with some surprising challenges along the way. Each match will be a scramble with each player teeing off on each hole. Once they have selected one of the drivers, both players will then hit from that spot and repeat until they finish out each hole. The team with the lowest score will win the hole. Very similar. I don't know if anyone here has watched it, but I watched it a couple times. This past year, it was Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes paired up against Steph Curry and Klay Thompson from the Golden State Warriors. And then last year, it was Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen against Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. And it's the same type of thing. Like you play a certain number of holes and basically just, lowest score wins. And it's fun because
it's live, right?
It's live. So if you want to watch the Netflix Cup, it's live on Netflix on Tuesday at 3 p.m. Pacific time, 6 p.m. Eastern, in the States.
I'm curious to see. Netflix has tried the live thing a couple times, and I really hope they do well with this.
And so like with the it was called The Match, I think, which was like the Travis Patrick thing. They have like these little look like AirPod things that they wear, so they can they're like mic'd up essentially the entire time, and they can there was announcers, and the announcers could talk to the players during the match, be like how you're feeling. Da, da, da.
I remember I saw clips recently of Tom Brady. It must have been from that, but I had no idea what the context was, and I was like, "Why is he talking?" That makes sense.
Yeah,
that's fun.
So I'll be curious.
They trash talk to each other.
Well, kind of. I mean, they're all around each other the whole time anyway. Like they all travel, they all play the same.
No, the announcers and
So anyway, that'll be fun. I'm excited. Excited to watch. All right, I asked you guys for some talking points, questions, comments, concerns for this episode. So I'll just get into a few of them right now. Okay, who wins Vegas? Who are you predicting for the Vegas win?
Honestly, I'm just gonna keep going with Lando right now because I don't know if it's realistic, but I also think that this race is gonna like just given the not that Max isn't capable of doing it again, obviously, but I feel like there's gonna be a lot of shakeups with the tires and all of that. So why not?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously hard to predict against Max, but I do feel like because it's a brand new track, brand new, like it's not that Max can handle that, but I think it has the ability to have a little bit of chaos, especially like with the tire stuff and just everything. So yeah, I'm gonna say Lando, and I'm also just like as a wild card, I'm gonna throw Lewis in there.
Fun.
I know they had a rough weekend in Brazil, but I'm wondering if they can bounce back. And you know, some people have said as a dark horse pick, they think Alex Albon could get a podium.
So fun. I'm so here for that.
So we'll see how that goes. I mean, I have very low expectations in terms of like crazy results on the track, but I would love for something really crazy. I mean, obviously, I think we can all agree. Well, I shouldn't say we all, but you know, the man who's wanted the Vegas race for the longest time, Daniel Ricciardo, that would be pretty iconic if he could win this race. Don't think it's gonna happen.
I can't believe there's a bar doing like shitty drinks.
I know. Iconic. Also, like, why has Australia done that yet?
Probably
they are missing out if they haven't done that. And I don't know if you saw, but there's apparently a chapel in the paddock that you can get married in. And so somebody asked, who do we think is most likely to get married at the racetrack chapel?
Like no one.
I know.
I mean, I feel like I could see some like creators doing something funny with that, or like I could see some really like diehard fans doing it.
This person said Valtteri. They think
Valtteri
and Tiffany would get married. We'll see. We shall see. People asking if you're okay after the Travis Taylor thing. We will get into that as previously mentioned.
Thank you for asking.
We already have gotten into it by the time this comes out, so go check that out.
Yeah, I do appreciate everyone looking out.
Yeah, they're always looking out.
They really are.
For you. Oh, okay. Not F1 connected, but your opinions on Harry Styles' new haircut.
Why?
For those who don't know, Harry shaved his head. I mean, honestly, and I think it's kind of true. I think it's true he's getting a hair transplant.
But did he need one?
Well, I think his hairline is like really going back. And I think people are like, I've seen so many people,
because he's doing it incredibly. So I cannot even imagine how many male celebrities have
100%
hair plugs, and we never knew about it because they just went into hiding. And he is always in hiding, except for now he's just.
Well, people said it's the best time because he's going into winter, so he can wear hats for the next.
Well, yeah, he always goes into hibernation after tour.
You won't even think about it.
Yeah,
but it's not his best look. I can tell you that.
No,
much.
It isn't, and you know what? That's okay. And yeah, it didn't shake me up as much as because I don't think it's gonna last. I said to you like the hair plug thing makes sense, but I also didn't know if it was like for a role that we haven't heard about yet.
Yeah,
or like
who knows?
Isn't he supposed to like keep doing Marvel movies?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know what's happening with that.
Anyway.
Yeah, not the best look for him. All right. That's that
on that
for today. Excited to watch. We'll be watching the race together.
Yes.
Which will be fun.
Yeah, we'll have plenty of snacks to keep Zoe as alert as possible.
Oh yeah. I'll be totally fine because I will have not woken up for qualify. Like I'll have gotten a good night's rest. Watch quali in the morning. Yeah. And just reminders for people. Again, I'm sure you guys know this, but quali is on Friday night. Well, technically, I guess Saturday morning. And the race is Saturday night.
Yeah.
So, just in case that's slipped your mind somehow, which means there will be cars on track on Thursday, which I know is unusual. So anyway, anything else to share before we depart?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, thank you guys for listening. If you haven't left us a review on Apple, left us a rating on Spotify, subscribe to our YouTube channel.
It's fun over there.
It's really fun.
If you haven't listened to our new update about Taylor and Travis,
please listen.
You should do that now.
Exactly.
I have a lot of thoughts
and
emotions.
All right, guys. We'll talk to you next week.
Enchante.